If you've ever watched a viral motivational short and felt that sudden jolt of energy or inspiration, chances are you weren't even thinking about who was behind it. That's the entire point. These videos don't rely on personalities or influencers. They rely on format. A faceless AI-driven format that's been quietly dominating the motivational niche and pulling in millions of views every single month. And the craziest part? It's not about having a great camera, a big production team, or even being on screen. It's about understanding the structure, what hits the viewer when it hits them, and how the AI can replicate it at scale. This format doesn't just tell motivational stories. It designs them for maximum psychological impact. At its core, the format is a simple but powerful three-act structure: a relatable struggle, an emotional turning point, and a triumphant resolution. Think of stories where someone is abandoned, broken, doubted, and then finds a way to rise. That narrative has been told a million times in different ways, but what makes this version go viral is how it's packaged. The viewer doesn't need to know who's telling the story. All they care about is how it makes them feel in the first 3 seconds. The AI-powered voice is calm, confident, sometimes even slightly broken, just enough to connect. The visuals are cinematic, timed with the narration, and intentionally vague so anyone can project themselves onto the story. And the background? Music. It's emotionally synced, rising right when the protagonist rises. These aren't accidents. They're engineered to trigger emotional resonance, and AI makes that engineering scalable. What most people don't realize is that faceless content thrives because it removes bias. The viewer isn't distracted by the creator's looks, race, or accent. They're locked into the message. And when that message is universal, pain, hope, grit, victory, it transcends demographics. That's why this format is outperforming traditional motivational content. There's no face, no ego, no filler. Just pure narrative impact, delivered by automation and optimized by repetition. Let me give you a clearer example. Imagine a story about a kid who's constantly bullied in school, comes from a broken home, and everyone counts him out. The AI voice tells it like a quiet memory. The text overlays emphasize the emotion, and the visuals show symbolic imagery. A boy sitting alone on a bench walking home under rain, slowly standing on a field while others ignore him. Then the turning point hits. He trains alone, day and night. Fast forward. He makes it to a national level. The camera pans over cheering crowds, his face still unseen. The story ends not with him gloating, but with a line like, "Sometimes, the ones no one believes in end up becoming the reason others believe." That final emotional punch isn't just storytelling, it's packaging for mass engagement, and AI can reproduce hundreds of these variants, non-stop. What's crucial to understand here is that this isn't random content going viral. It's structured content, engineered to exploit how platforms like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels reward high retention and emotional engagement. These algorithms don't care about who you are. They care about how long viewers stay. If your viewer gets pulled into a story in 2 seconds, watches until the end, and maybe even replays it, that's algorithm gold. Faceless AI formats are built to do exactly that. They remove all distractions and present only what drives human emotion. The pacing is tight. The hooks are immediate. The emotional beats are calculated. And when you crack that formula once, you don't just get one-hit video. You get a system for printing views. This format also gives massive leverage to creators who are just starting. You don't need charisma on camera. You don't need studio lighting or a fancy mic. You don't even need to be fluent in English. All you need is an understanding of the format and the willingness to use the tools. The AI takes care of voiceovers, visuals, editing, even music timing. What used to take hours now takes minutes. And more importantly, you can test multiple stories fast, see what gets retention, what gets watch time, and double down. One of the biggest advantages here is storytelling ownership. Since the creator isn't the face of the video, they're free to tell any story that connects. Real or fictional, historical or futuristic. You can build an entire library of motivational arcs that speak to athletes, students, entrepreneurs, or even parents. and no one would ever know it's the same person behind them. That's why faceless channels using this AI format are scaling faster than traditional ones. They're not building a personal brand. They're building a content machine. Even better, the content is evergreen. A good motivational story doesn't expire in a week. It lives for months, sometimes years, pulling in views long after it's been posted. That means your work today can still be making you money and impact next quarter, next year. And when you multiply that by 100, 200, or even 1,000 videos, each one generated and scheduled through AI, the result is a snowball of influence and income. This isn't about chasing views anymore. It's about building an emotional content pipeline that feeds the algorithm exactly what it wants while staying scalable and timeless. This faceless format, powered by AI, is not just a trend. It's the new standard for digital motivation, and those who understand it now will dominate the landscape tomorrow. What makes this entire system run so efficiently, what turns a simple motivational script into a million-view machine, is the AI toolkit that automates every piece of the process. Without the right tools, even the best story idea stays trapped in your head. But with the right AI stack, you move from idea to viral video in less time than it takes most people to write a caption. And the beauty is, every tool in this process doesn't just speed things up, it replaces roles. You don't need to hire writers, editors, narrators, or animators. You don't even need to be good at any of those things yourself. The AI handles the labor. All you have to do is steer the direction. It all starts with the script. This is the soul of your video, the part that triggers emotional connection. Before AI, this would be a manual, creative task. But now, you prompt ChatGPT with a theme, like overcoming failure, or a boy abandoned by his team who becomes a national star, and within seconds you have a powerful narrative. You can guide the tone too, make it raw, poetic, intense, soft. You're not writing anymore. You're directing. You can ask the AI to include a twist, add emotional contrast, or write it from a first-person perspective to deepen the viewer connection. What took hours now takes minutes. And because it's AI, you can generate multiple versions of the same idea, test different emotional beats, and always have backups ready. Once you've got your script, the next piece is voice. In traditional content, you'd need a professional voice actor to bring the words to life. But with 11 Labs or similar AI voice tools, you can generate human-sounding narrations that are actually better for the format. Why? Because they're consistent, emotion-controlled, and clean. You can create voices that sound young and hopeful, old and wise, deep and motivational. You're not stuck with your own voice or relying on freelancers. You can create a signature voice for your entire channel, something your audience begins to associate with your content, even though it's never seen your face. From there, you move into visuals. Now this is where most people get overwhelmed, thinking they need stock footage licenses, complex video editors, or massive rendering time. But with tools like Pictory, Runway, or Kyber, the entire process becomes drag and drop. You input your script or narration, and the tool automatically matches visuals, clips of people walking, training, crying, succeeding, all royalty-free, emotion-packed, and aligned with your narrative flow. These tools even adjust the clips to the pacing of your voiceover, so if the narration slows for impact, the visuals match that rhythm. If the story intensifies, the footage gets tighter, closer, more dramatic. And the best part? You didn't shoot a second of it. The AI did all the heavy lifting. Music is no longer a guessing game either. Background scores used to require endless browsing and syncing. Now tools can auto-generate emotionally synced music beds. Or they let you choose a vibe, inspiring, epic, emotional, and build the track around your script. The AI handles the volume automation, the timing, even the fade-outs. This matters more than most people think. Music isn't background, it's the emotional amplifier. The AI understands that. And it does what human editors often miss. Puts the sound where the soul of the message is. Editing used to be the bottleneck of production. Not anymore. AI-driven platforms now let you build captions with perfect sync, highlight keywords, add transitions, and even zoom effects, all based on the emotion of the line. A phrase like, "he trained alone while everyone else slept," might get a slow zoom, a dark filter, and a heartbeat in the background. Automatically. The edit isn't just clean, it's storytelling in motion. You're not just uploading content anymore. You're uploading crafted experiences with almost no technical skill required. And when it comes to outputting these videos, you can create templates for different platforms. 9:16 for Shorts and TikTok, 1.1 for Instagram, 16.9 for YouTube. Render once, resize many times, and you can batch it all. Create 10, 20, even 50 motivational videos in a day. Not theory, reality. Real creators are doing it. Channels that went from 0 to hundreds of thousands of subscribers in months used this exact workflow. Not because they were creative geniuses, but because they understood leverage. They knew what to delegate to AI and what to control with their vision. Now here's the kicker. Every part of this workflow is either free or extremely low cost. You're not spending $1,000 a month on software. You're spending less than what most people blow on coffee. And in return, you're generating a system that turns raw ideas into high-retention, high-earnings videos at a volume and consistency that solo creators could never reach before. You can build once and scale forever. This isn't just automation, it's liberation. The creative process used to be chained by skill gaps, time constraints, and budget limits. AI breaks those chains. It gives you superpowers. It hands you the tools of an entire production house and lets you run it from your laptop, your bedroom, your phone. You no longer have to choose between speed and quality. You can have both. The only limit now is how committed you are to using them. The reason this format consistently pulls in over 1 million views every month isn't luck. And it's not even just the power of AI. It's the psychology behind how people consume content and how the algorithm rewards that consumption. When someone stumbles upon a motivational short, they're not just watching a video, they're having a moment. And this format, when executed right, is built to create that moment within the first 3 seconds. That's all the time you get because that's all the attention people give. Miss it, and your video dies. Nail it, and the algorithm starts working for you instead of against you. There's a reason platforms like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels are obsessed with one metric above all: retention. If someone swipes away, your video is dead in the water. If someone watches until the end, maybe even rewatches it or shares it, your video becomes viral fuel. This AI format is structured to win that battle every single time. It opens strong, sometimes with a line that feels like a punch to the gut. He was abandoned by his own team, laughed at, told he'd never make it. There's no warm-up, no fluff. That first sentence has one job: force the viewer to stay. And when they do, the next phase kicks in. Every second of the video is designed to pull them deeper into the emotional arc. It's a pacing game. If you go too slow, you lose interest. Too fast, you lose emotional weight. But this format has been refined. Story pacing, scene changes, and narration speed all calibrated to the average viewer's attention span. The story doesn't drag. It escalates. Conflict is introduced early. Stakes get higher. Emotion builds. Then comes the shift. Our protagonist fights back. Not with long speeches or fancy transitions, but with visual symbols. A lone figure training at night, hands bruised, eyes focused. The music rises. The narration slows down just a little. Enough for the audience to lean in. What's powerful here isn't just what's said, it's how it feels. The story hits familiar beats: pain, rejection, growth, and victory, but it hits them cleanly, quickly, and in sequence. These are universal themes. They don't need translation. A kid in the US and a worker in Pakistan can both feel something when they hear, "No one believed in him until he became the reason others believed." This is why these videos explode across countries, across platforms. They're not locked into a language or a trend. They're emotional exports. Now take that emotional engine and match it with how the algorithm works. You've got a story people want to watch until the end. That already checks one box. But what about replays? A well-structured motivational video often ends with a sentence that loops perfectly back to the start. The viewer hears the final line and gets goosebumps. Maybe they missed something, they rewind. That one viewer just gave you 2 watch sessions in one. Multiply that by thousands, and now you're feeding the algorithm a metric it loves: repeated engagement. Add comments into the mix. People react to these videos deeply. You'll see comments like, "I needed this today," or "cried watching this," or "this was for me." That's the kind of organic feedback that drives YouTube to push your content harder. It signals that your video isn't just being watched, it's being felt. That's another metric the algorithm can't measure directly but always responds to: emotional impact. Then there's shareability. Think about it. When was the last time you shared a video? It wasn't random. It made you feel something strong, enough that you wanted someone else to feel it too. This AI format is built to hit that share trigger. It packages emotional storytelling in such a short, impactful burst that sharing becomes effortless. You can drop it in a group chat, send it to a friend who's struggling, or post it to your story as if you're saying, "This is how I feel today." And every share brings in new viewers, new eyes, new watch time, new momentum. And here's where things really scale. It works across platforms without needing to change a thing. The same 60-second video that dominates on YouTube Shorts can be uploaded to TikTok, Instagram Reels, and even Facebook Shorts. It performs because it's not platform-dependent. It's attention-dependent. And attention is currency on every app. So one video has 4, 5, even 10 opportunities to go viral. Not because it was customized per platform, but because it was engineered for human attention. This is where most creators miss the point. They chase formats that rely on them being present, their face, their voice, their energy. It works, but it caps their scale. You can't clone yourself, but you can clone this format. You can reproduce its emotional structure 100 different ways with 100 different stories and still get the same results. Not every video will hit 1 million views, but when the structure is right and the emotion is clean, you only need a few to blow up. And while they're blowing up, the rest are building steady momentum, building your brand, building your channel from the ground up, faceless, automated, and unstoppable. The truth is, the algorithm doesn't care about who you are. It cares about how your content performs. And when you understand what keeps a viewer watching, when you can trigger the right emotion at the right moment, every time, you stop playing the guessing game and start printing results. It's one thing to understand how the format works and what tools make it possible, but what truly seals the deal, what really makes this system undeniable, is the results it produces in real time for real creators, over and over again. There are channels right now, some with no face, no voice, no brand identity, that are racking up hundreds of thousands, even millions, of views and subscribers. And they're doing it with a simple, repeatable process that turns raw stories into viral content with AI at the wheel. This isn't a theory, it's a pipeline. You set it up once, and if you're consistent, it builds momentum like a snowball rolling downhill. You'll find creators who started with zero, no budget, no team, just an understanding of how to combine narrative structure, AI narration, visuals, and emotional timing. They started uploading short motivational videos daily, maybe 2, maybe 5, and within 30 days they saw their first 10,000 subscribers. That's not just growth, that's leverage. They weren't burning themselves out filming and editing for hours. They were uploading consistently with AI doing the heavy lifting, and each video worked like a soldier, reaching new audiences, earning trust, and stacking view counts while they slept. One example that sticks out is a creator who posted 300 shorts in 1 month using nothing but ChatGPT, 11 Labs, and Pictory. Every video followed the same emotional blueprint: struggle, sacrifice, rise. He wasn't reinventing the wheel. He was running a system. Some videos flopped, but a few hit 6 figures. One even crossed 1 million. And the best part? It wasn't tied to his identity. That means he could repeat it under a different name, a different niche, even in a different language. The process works globally because the emotions it plays on are universal. The financial side is equally powerful. YouTube now pays for shorts through ad revenue sharing. Add in affiliate links, brand deals, and merch, and suddenly what started as faceless storytelling becomes a real business. I've seen creators making $1,000, $5,000 a month just from these automated shorts, and that's from content they created weeks or even months ago. Remember, motivational content doesn't expire. A story that hits today can still go viral tomorrow, and that kind of shelf life makes this format far more powerful than trend-based content that dies out in a week. But the magic isn't just in the numbers, it's in the freedom. You're no longer stuck to your screen, editing frame by frame, writing every word, or micromanaging uploads. The tools handle the grunt work. You become the overseer of a system that runs 24/7. That means you can scale quickly and without burnout. Want to test a new format? Done. Want to upload in multiple languages? Just swap the voice. Want to create 50 videos in a week? You don't need a team. You need a few hours and a clear plan. Now imagine stacking that productivity month over month. You build a content library that works like a compound asset. Each video adds to the foundation. Each one has the potential to go viral, not immediately, but when the algorithm finds the right audience. That's why this format outperforms others long term. It's not based on shock value or trending gimmicks. It's rooted in emotional storytelling and psychological consistency. That makes it both sustainable and profitable. Another advantage? You're future-proofing your content. As AI tools evolve, the quality gets better, the process gets faster, and the scalability gets insane. Right now, you might spend 15 minutes on a video. Soon you'll be able to create 10 at once with batch prompts and AI scheduling. If you're in early, if you understand and implement this format now, you'll be light years ahead of those still stuck trying to do everything manually. You won't just be riding the wave, you'll be building the pipeline it flows through. What's also worth noting is how adaptable this system is. Some creators stick to personal development, others use it for sports stories, entrepreneurship, historical inspiration, or even anonymous biographies. You can pick a sub-niche and dominate it. You can test new emotional tones, new cultural spins, even different age groups. The format is so flexible that you're only limited by your ability to research stories and apply the same emotional formula. You're no longer just a content creator. You're a system builder, a strategist, a digital producer who understands how to craft stories people want to watch and platforms want to push. And that positioning is powerful, because once your content starts working at scale, people notice. Your audience grows without you needing to show your face. Brands come to you, opportunities open, and every piece of content becomes a gateway, bringing in not just views but influence, impact, and income. So when I say this AI format prints 1 million views monthly, I'm not exaggerating. I'm underselling what's possible. Because this isn't just about printing views. It's about building momentum, building systems, and ultimately building freedom.